My name is Patricia Ann Sullivan Haggerty.
Okay.
Okay, and because my parents were from Ireland, I was named after St. Patrick. Being as I'm a girl, Patricia had to be it.
Okay. How about you?
My mother never named me
No,
when she had me.
She didn't?
She did not. She went home from the hospital and she never named me. And I didn't find out that until I was going to try to get a passport and found out that I was never named.
He was named No Name Haggerty.
So I sent up for my passport and the passport came back, no name Haggerty. So I had to have my employees in my drugstore witness that I am that person known as John Ryan Haggerty.
That's kind of funny.
And anyway, that's who I am. And of course, if you're a John and you're Irish, you're Jack. So. That's
And
why.
Ryan is your mom's name?
Ryan is my mom's name.
Didn't they used to call you Ryan when you were a kid?
Well, my mother used to call me Ryan because when she went home from the hospital, she just called me Ryan Haggerty, and then the nun said it can't be Ryan because it's not a saint's name. So the nun said that they'll have to call a saint's name. So call me John Ryan Haggerty.
Alrighty. Okay, you told us you have a nickname. Let's see. Okay, when or where were you guys born? What year and where were you born?
Oh, 1936 in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
1931 in Butte, Montana.
Alrighty. Let's see. You were baptized Catholic.
Right.
So how did you end up, or how did your parents end up in Detroit?
They both migrated when they were about 16 and 18, not together, but separately. And my mother was a domestic, and my father ended up as a manure hauler for the city of New York. And from there, they came to Detroit. My mother was in Cleveland because that's where her sister was. And so then they must have heard that, things were good in Detroit, so go there and get a job. And that's what happened.
And then was he a fireman?
He was a bus driver.
Bus driver. Okay, and how'd you end up or your parents end up in Butte?
Well, on my mother's side, they actually kind of migrated to Montana from trying to think of the place here in California. What's the place on the way up to our place up there? It's
Sacramento,
no, above Sacramento.
Auburn, Placerville.
Or the
Virginia City?
Virginia City, California.
Yeah.
And Placerville, that whole area up there was where they were doing mining,
Oh, okay.
coal mining. And so then on my mother's side, then they actually heard that there was, I guess, gold mines in Montana, so they went up there to Montana to go gold mining. That's where her forebears were, that they went up there to get a job in the gold mines. But the gold mines turned out not to be gold mines; they turned out to be copper mines, and so so they were into copper mining. On my father's side, from what I understand, the family Haggerty came from Pennsylvania, and again they were going out there to work in the copper mines.
Okay. So what about the house that you grew up in? Was it, describe growing up with your siblings, etc.
Well, I grew up in a house on Cheyenne in Detroit, and there were 5 of us. There were 5 girls and we shared bedrooms. We slept in the basement. We were all over the place. And I had a very fun time growing up. I went to St. Francis de Sales Grammar School, and the first year of high school I was there, and then I went to Mercy High School, and I graduated from there, which was an all-girls school. Just thought I'd throw that up.
How about you?
The house I grew up in, anyway, my brother was first, and then me, and then Mark, and we lived on Waukesha Street in Butte, Montana. My father was well, he first of all started in the mines, and then later he became a boilermaker. And anyway, I went to Catholic school. I went to Immaculate Conception Grammar School, and was there until we came to California.
And you came to California when you were in 8th grade?
Yes, I just started 8th grade when I came to California.
What did you guys do for fun as kids?
We roller skated, we played tag, went to the library, things like that.
Would you go to the movies? How much was
Well, we
it?
could only go once a week, which would be on Saturday, and it was 10 cents. And because there were so many of us kids, I could go one Saturday, and my sister went the other Saturday. And the others were too small to go, but that's how that came about. And I think I took some swimming lessons in high school up at Cooley High School. We were not involved in any kind of sports because they didn't have them for girls back then. There were no sports. But you know what? I had a great time, a great neighborhood. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody liked everybody. We had the wild boys and the wild girls, and it was still a great neighborhood, and we had a lot of fun.
Were you one of the wild girls?
Oh, God, no.
How about you, Dad?
Well, first of all, the question was
What did you do for fun? Like today, kids play video games for fun. Like, what'd you do for fun?
When we were really young, I guess what we did is we played games on the floor in the house, in the living room, and it was fun games. We really enjoyed ourselves just with really simple games, and we did things like making model airplanes and that kind of stuff. We did a lot of stuff indoors like that because it was a long winter, and we really didn't go outside an awful lot because the idea was so cold. And anyway, did that kind of stuff in there, and then in the summertime, in sports at school, it was basketball and football and that kind of stuff. And in what was the other question? I guess anyway, that's what we did. We played basketball. We had a basket in our backyard, and then up at the corner of the thing, then there was a basketball up on the basketball hoop up on the lamppost, and we went up there with the bigger kids to play basketball. And the reason we went with the bigger kids is because we had the basketball. So they'd come and ask us to play, and they really didn't want us to play.
Include you.
But we had the basketball.
And then we all had, because there were so many kids around, there were lots of birthday parties. But a birthday party back then was,
A cupcake or?
no, you'd have the cake. But it would be musical chairs, or drop the clothespin on the bottle. Remember?
Spin the bottle, yeah.
No, it wasn't
Not
spin the bottle.
bottle.
Well, you might have played spin the bottle, but mine was drop the clothespin in the bottle. Let's see, pin the tail on the donkey. Yeah, there were things like that, very simple. And I mean, everybody got dressed up. The girls all wore their little dresses. We all had ribbons in our hair, and the gifts were really, a coloring book and crayons, or things like that. Nothing like it is today. Yeah.
Okay, so did you like school?
I did.
I liked it very much. Actually, I did very well in school, and I loved going to school, and I love studying. I love studying at home,
Hmm.
and that was,
And how many years of school did you have, and what did you end up with?
are you talking about in Butte, you mean?
Well, no, just in general. Like, how many years of school did you go? You ended up being a pharmacist, right? So.
Yeah. Well, actually, I went to the 8th grade, started the 8th grade in Butte, and then we came to California, and I continued in the 8th grade in California up in Butte. It was at the Immaculate Conception Grammar School. In California, it was at St. Anthony's Grammar School on Army Street, and then at Sacred Heart High School, which is now Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep. And after graduating from there, I went to City College of San Francisco, and I then I wanted to be a pharmacist, so I had an array of courses I had to take, and the courses that I took at City College. Some of they didn't have there, so I had to go over to Berkeley and take courses at Berkeley. But I think they only took 2, if I'm not mistaken. I took anatomy and some other thing, I can't remember what that was. Another course, probably botany, I think. But anyway, then I applied to the university. Then at that time I had 2 years in preschool, pre-pharmacy, and then I took and then applied to University of California, San Francisco, and was accepted, and I took 3 years of pharmacy, and so I was a total of 5 years what it was, and I graduated from there, and then took the state boards and got to be a pharmacist.
How about you, Mom?
Oh, well, I graduated from Mercy High School, and from there, I always wanted to travel. That was where I was going, and I wanted to go to college and be a nurse, but there was no money. There wasn't any money for that, and I had already paid my way through Mercy, and it just didn't work. So anyway, my friends of my parents helped me get a job at Ford Motor Company, and I was put in the tractor and implement division. It was a great job, really loved it, in a nice area. And I was there and met another gal that wanted to go to California. And then I had a friend anyway, Susie Nelson. So Susie and I were going to go in April the following year, but something happened at her house and she couldn't do it. So I went on with this other gal, and I wanted to start in California because I didn't know where else to start. I had never traveled or anything else, and I'll never forget. I had a night flight, and I got in the morning to San Francisco, and this barber was going to meet me in. There used to be KGO radio station in San Francisco, to take the bus in from the airport, and I did. It was early morning, maybe 8 o'clock or something like that. But I mean, it was so glorious. The white buildings, the pink buildings, the blue sky. It was beautiful. It was really just like the magazines, just like the holiday magazine, and. I was smitten just from the very moment I got off the plane, and so she had gotten a roommate, Sharon, and the 3 of us shared the apartment on top of Nob Hill. It was only a block down from the Fairmont, and I got out. Then it took me maybe a week or 2 to find a job, and. It was a great job. I worked